Hello, you've reached Katie Mambo's phone. I'm not answering because I'm probably busy talking to God. I'm sitting at the foot of God. This mountain is absolutely divine. So I'm in Mount Shasta and I'm loving it. And if you leave me a message, I will call you back. I hope you have a wonderful day and God bless. Anyway, so what I'd like you to do is check out these 4 decks.
Oh, 4
and
different decks.
Choose whichever one feels.
That I tune in with?
Yeah. I was given a deck in 1967. I was on the road with a play. I was going to be an actress. I got swept off a cliff at Land's End by a wave and drowned, basically, and had visions as I was drowning. And I had no idea what the visions were that I was seeing. When I woke up in the hospital, I managed to come out of the water myself. My friends fucked off. They were all tripping on acid. You know, it was the 60s. And I woke up in the hospital and I said, I opened the deck. I hadn't even opened it yet. I opened the deck and started looking. I said, holy shit. These are the visions I saw while I was drowning in the moon. The moon was full that night. And I said, Jesus God, these are the visions that I saw. I'm meant to do this work. And I started studying the cards. And I've been doing it ever since. I've done it all over the world. I traveled alone to Egypt, to India, to Nepal, to Thailand, Indonesia, South Africa, the mainland of Africa, Kenya. This deck, the cards have been given me the most amazing life. They really have. I'm so grateful, because I think I would have died if I'd gone to Hollywood. I mean, I did do a film with Peckinpah and fell in love with him. We fell in love with each other. The minute we met, he said, "Where the fuck have you been?" I said...
Is that when he got shot on set?
He pulled a gun on me because he wanted me to fuck one of his friends, and I wouldn't do it. And I jumped out of the window of his apartment in Sausalito into the bay. I said, "You're a fucking crazy man. I'm getting out of here." And I jumped out of the window.
Jesus.
He was crazy, but I loved him. He just had a certain way about him. I love Peckinpah. And then, the last day of shooting on the film that I did with him, with James Caan, who was also an asshole, just like Don Johnson. Same, cut out of the same cloth.
Asshole cloth?
Yes. Sam thinks the producer, Helmut Dantine, was coming on to me. He had his arm around me and was telling me I'd done a good job in the film. He comes over, yanks me away from him, and punches this guy out. Breaks his nose, lays him on the ground. There's blood spurting. I'd never seen 2 grown men fight. I went absolutely berserk. Sam went and locked himself in the bathroom. I cleared a table with my purse that was full of champagne and cocaine and pot and you name it. It was all there at this party. I cleared it with my purse. Sam comes out of the bathroom. We got Helmut Dantine out of there, patched him up. He got taken away. Sam comes out of the bathroom all peaky-eyed. I said, "You cock-sucking son of a bitch, don't you ever do anything like that in front of me again." and I whacked him as hard as I could with my purse. Knocked him cold. He hit the wall, slid down it, said, "What did you have in that purse?" I said, "My rage, motherfucker." I gave him some of his own medicine.
Yeah, he definitely needed that.
Well, it knocked some sense into him because he fell madly in love with me. We were together 10 years. Till he died.
What film were you seeing?
Killer Elite. I hated that movie. It was a terrible movie.
With Mako?
No, yes. Well,
Mako's
I was
amazing.
in it.
Oh, you are? Okay,
I
I'm
was
gonna
the-
watch it tomorrow.
I was the nurse that James Caan, I had this little, like, one-word part, and Sam kept elongating it, and it created this relationship of he and I being in love and taking walks together. So one of the guys on the crew gave me a joint. He climbs up the stairs, and he's on these crutches, and he's hobbling. I'm standing at the top of the stairs in San Francisco, and James Caan is hobbling up the stairs on his crutches. And I remembered that I had this joint in my pocket. So I whip it out and I light it. And they left it in the movie. James Caan is like hobbling, goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, you know, come on, climb the stairs. Come on, climb the stairs."
What are you, nuts?
Hey, come on, Mike. Take it easy. You're trying too hard.
Do you like salt? Both of you like salt. No problemi. The horse blanket. Which horse blanket?
The one looking at us.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, what is that?
It's a blanket that I got at thrift store. Everything that's in here came from a thrift store because there's always magic in thrift stores, and God always provides me with magic in thrift stores. But my dad got me a horse when I was 8, Gypsy colt. Well, the first horse they got me was Chris. She was a beautiful little gray mare. Turned out she hated children. So I go to throw my arms around her neck, and she spins around and kicks me in the gut, sends me flying. My Christmas present kicked me in the gut. Anyway, Dad let me know that I had a horse by putting horse shit in my Christmas stocking. And I said, "But Vanna had candy and sweets and all kinds of toys and presents, and I got horse shit." He said, "Where there's horse shit, there's bound to be a horse." Well, when I was a kid, my parents used to go to see Anita and George Vanderbilt at the Shadow Valley Ranch. It's right at the base of the road going up to Stewart Mineral Springs in Weed.
Oh, okay.
And every summer we would go, and I would ride horses, and I just, at that moment, I was like in heaven. And I knew Mount Shasta was my spiritual home when I was very young. Oh, I just love the smell of horses. He is so nice. My dad was a really good man. You know, it took me years to realize what a good man he was because my mother was so negative about him. She did not love him. She married him because he was a star. She wanted Hollywood. It took me years to realize that he was from Oklahoma. He was a farmer. He planted a cornfield in the back of our house on Tiger Tail Road in Beverly, in Brentwood. A cornfield, and had a tractor. He was very honest. And he was so good. He was so natural. They called him at the Academy Awards the actor's actor. This is the actor's actor, Van Heflin. We were very close until I became a woman. And then I think his sexuality, he saw me as a woman. And he was having a terrible time with my mom. My mom was not in love with him.
When I look at you, I hear lovely music. Can it be my heart that sings?
I know why you treat me as a child. It's because you're afraid to think of me as a woman.
Sorry, I'm just nodding out here. Think I'll take a nap.
Yeah.
I need to fill my drink up. I was in Sebastopol and with all these like yuppies, wannabe peaceniks. I was there for 1 year. And I thought it was going to be there the rest of my life. I had this beautiful place that was under a redwood tree, a weeping willow tree was there, 2 juniper trees, and I moved in and built a gypsy camp with a beautiful chapel where I could do my readings, and a women's area in the back under the redwood tree. I had all my photographs of my dad and in movies, and me when I was in movies, and my son when he was growing up, and my horses, and my travels around the world. I made all of these beautiful works of art. I was sitting with the kids. I was really good friends with all of these kids that were at this trailer park. And they'd all come, and I was their magic granny, and they would come visit me every evening. And this one night I'm sitting there and we're roasting marshmallows. I said, and there are fires all burning around. And I said, well, if my house burns, I'm just going to roast marshmallows on it. One of the little boys says, Katie, your trailer's on fire. I said, well, go get the marshmallows. He said, no, it really is. I said, really? And I went to look for it. Sure enough. I was ready to leave Sebastopol, and I stood there watching it burn and knew that something better was coming. I knew it. That was September of last year. Sweetie, what are you doing? Sweetie. She was homeless for 2 years before I got her, and so was I. She was burned out, and so was I. She had many of the same experiences that I had before we came together. My sweetheart, my girl. I want to get a wolf. I really do. I had 2 wolves when I was here in Shasta before. Doggy, who was absolutely a saint. He was the smartest dog, kind dog. I could trust that dog. He was Gabriel's nanny. He raised Gabriel. And then I went to visit this old black man in Wairika. And I came out and I saw Doggy was out of the car. I said, Doggy, what are you doing out of the car? Get back in the car. Get in. Open the door, put him in. Went back in and visited with this old man. When I came out, there were 2 dogs in the car. 2 wolf dogs. White, shepherd, husky, wolf dogs. And that was Bo. Bo was the asshole of the world. He was a wild thing, and he could not be tamed. There was no taming Bo. He used to go... He moved... I adopted him because he looked so much like Doggy, and I thought... So I went into the hospital. I said, tell me about this dog. They said, somebody abandoned that dog. We don't know who he is, but he's been here for 2 days with no food and water. I said, well, I'll take him with me, because he looks like my dog, Doggy. That dog, he used to go and lay on the hood of the dog catcher in Mount Shasta and wait for him to come, because he liked him, and he fed him, and he would charge me $50, and then $100, and then $150. I said, fuck me, this dog is an asshole. Anyway, I went into the unemployment after we moved to Ashland. I came back to visit Dorothy, who was working on unemployment in Mount Shasta. I said, I see the dog catcher. I said, what are you doing in the unemployment line? You're the dog catcher. He goes, Katie, after you left Mount Shasta, my job dried up. Yeah, and so he used to escape the pound. He would climb up a wall, and he was a wolf. He was a crazy wild wolf. He ate a dachshund in front of me.
Jesus.
I mean, he tore it to pieces. I was like, oh my God, this dog is the devil. He is, and Doggy was the saint.
What happened to them?
Well, Doggy finally died. Bo, I kept trying to get rid of. It was like the cat came back. You know the song?
Yeah, the cat came
He
back
kept-
the very next day.
Yeah, I kept giving him away, and he would come back. And I was living in Ashland. I took him all the way to Grants Pass and left him with somebody again. And within 2 weeks, he was back in the truck going, hi, I'm back. Anyway, I finally sent him away to go breed. And I guess he enjoyed breeding
You just had to give him
because
a
he
distraction.
stayed. He stayed. I'm so hungry. Let's go eat.